Hey guys, it's me, your crazy local mad scientist, here with another wonderfully cool project. Now, I know I don't make YouTube videos as very well, but mine are, I would like to believe, are very interesting. Especially since you're in the crazy so-called lab, aka garage, but hey, what do you want to call it? So today, I'll be working on a air conditioner condensement project. So basically, the condensement project is this. We take an old air conditioner unit, and we turn it into a radiator for a computer. Let's show you. So here's a reclaimed condenser coil. There's nothing fancy about it. It is legitimately something that I got free from a HVAC company. I basically said, hey, you got a broken used HVAC? So what we're going to do is we got to remove the condenser, or the actual compressor, because the compressor can't push water. I mean, a lot of people would go, well, why don't you just hook the water straight up to the in and out? Well, the problem is that there's a condenser in the way, and the condenser doesn't allow water through. It's actually an air compressing unit that will take vapor and pressurize it. So we have to get rid of that situation. So let me show you. Okay, so I took the top fan off, and this is typically how you access the actual compressor. Now this thing's a pretty gargantuan, large, well, it's for a mid-sized house, under 1,000 square feet type of house. So I disconnected the contact terminals, and I removed the screws from this compressor. Now our connectivity points are here and here. So I'm gonna take a saw and hack this and this off, and we'll get the condenser out, and then that way we'll have this big loop. This will go away. It will not be of use. And then there's a small loop right there for in, and the loop right here for out, and then it'll all go through this entire coil, and then we'll put the fan back in, and it'll just be a standard radiator. Woohoo! Okay, so a good tool to use to take the air compressor, or the condenser, the pump compressor out, is an angle crescent. So it would basically, you just kind of fold it over, and you can use it as a twisting unit. Well, anyway, I took the cutter and I disconnected it, so now our condenser's free. You can actually use this as a vacuum pump or a pressure pump, but if you do turn it on, be careful not to touch the vacuum end, because it's not forgiving and it will literally pull your hand inside the pipe. Primary reasons why the previous owner of this air conditioner got rid of it is because I cleaned it up already, but it was basically clogged up with little cotton balls from those plants that like to, like dandelions and whatnot. Basically, an air conditioner condenser coil, what most HVACs will say is they'll last a very long time. Now, the biggest thing that you'll come up against is either rusted out connections that just break free and lose coolant, highly unlikely, or more likely is that you let this radiator get completely clogged up with shit, thus blowing out your compressor because it gets too hot and it can't cool down and it blows out. So the best way to do that is you can take the top off, you can take the grill off and clean this, and then put the grill back together. No harm, no foul. Because these devices are actually extremely simple. They actually just run off a contactor. They turn a fan and a compressor on with a contactor. Now all the contactor does is you put 24 volts on either side of this, and it brings a rod down and makes a compressed connection here. See the contacts going on? Basically, it's a 24 volt magnet that energizes, turning the air compressor and the fan on. No, excuse me, just the compressor in general. And then it just goes through this radiator. No different than your car. It's just a little bit more sophisticated, because we're playing with a little bit of thermodynamic here. Hey guys, so after messing around with the the fan and the motor, I decided, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna pull 220 over to and put it back together the normal way, so it's not so damn loud. And so I did, and it's running on a 220 fan, which technically is a lot more efficient. Temporarily right now, I just tapped into my breaker from 215 amps. Just 215s right now to just suffice until I actually get a spot for it on the breaker panel. Don't have any room at the moment. But anyway, it sounds a lot happier now. Although, this is the type of air conditioner unit that would be most prone to breaking, and I totally know why it broke and it became free. It's because this is a reverse air system, so instead of air going up, when the new systems, they go up, and the reason they do that is to blow air out of the way and just keep it cleaner in there. But this system is actually a suction unit. It pulls air down in and blows it out here, kind of in a vortex. with all these grills kind of slanted. So this model is not really good for outdoors, which is basically the system that'll just suck leaves and debris in there and then cocoon the compressor and blow it up. But that's no fun. So anyway, this is kind of the end result. I got my computer loop. So computer loop comes in, it's a slower pressure, and then I have my high pressure right here at 10 psi for the actual unit. So it's moving more water on the cooler side, and then we have a large storage tank for the water. But that's pretty much that.